Hello, everyone. I know I missed July, and if you're on my newsletter, the actual email one, you'll see it was my birthday. So we were busy traveling, all that good stuff for summer. So I did miss the July mortgage update. I've done these for almost 2 years straight now. Took a little break for my 32nd birthday. Coming up on my 10th year in the business in October. Pretty crazy. I started way back when I was 22 years old. If you can do the math there. But yeah, so got a great one for you here in August because we are at a very, very, very pivotal time in the real estate market. Whether you're a seller or a buyer, I think it's very important if you're going to make a real estate move in the next 6 to 12 months. It's very important to watch all of the details on this. If you're not actually on my email newsletter, I give a lot of context other than just this video because I post this video on social media. So you may see that without the email. Just contact me. I'm happy to add you to that email distribution list. But let's start there. I want to talk about why we're in such a pivotal time in the real estate market. Unless you're living under a rock, you know that mortgage rates are coming down. You know that we have a presidential election coming up. You know that the Fed is most likely going to cut the Fed funds rate. Three very, very important pieces to our conversation here on why I think if you're a buyer, you need to pull the trigger right now. And if you're a seller, I think you should wait a few months. So let's dive into it. As you know, WhatcomHomeLoans.com is my website, has all of the previous mortgage videos, mortgage updates, has a bunch of resources. You can get an interest rate. You can look at my 5-star reviews. Bunch of great resources on here. You can look through the reviews there. You can do your mortgage application, everything through this website. So for those of you that are not on the email update, I'm going to show you this. I always give a lovely update of Cruz. He got his first haircut. So he looks like a complete toddler now. It's pretty crazy. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted this right here on basically the beginning of November in 2023. Why this was so important is I kind of went out on a limb and I said, hey, this is most likely the end of the Fed rate cut. We're going to see mortgage rates trickle down in the next 6 to 12 months to 6 to 7%, possibly lower. And what's that going to do? Simple supply and demand. If mortgage rates go down, it's more attainable to buy a home. There's going to be more demand, but there's not necessarily going to be more supply. So you can see here, I give a bunch of context. I kind of go crazy on these email updates. If you love numbers, you love the context, all that, reach out to me. I'm happy to add you to this. But I think that this is an important piece to look at too. So the median sale price in the U.S. was at a low of 402. This is nationally, right? This is not just Whatcom County. By December of 2023. It always takes a few months, right, for those high mortgage rates to hit. So you'll see the height of the mortgage rates. So if we go back here, height of the mortgage rates was about the end of October. You were seeing a 30-year fixed average interest rate almost at 8%. And then you saw them drop to, mid 6s in January. They popped back up and went back down, right? The higher the mortgage rates, the more unattainable it is to buy a home, right? It makes it more costly. So then that drives prices down and affordability down as well. So let's bring this email back up. So, if you look at it now, guess what the median sales price is now as of July 2023? It's $439, up from $402 back in December. So you're now paying $37,000 more for the same house. Well, guess how much a refinance costs? About $3,500. So I had a lot of people in November saying, gosh, these mortgage rates are 8%. I'm going to wait for them to go down. I said, don't do that. You can refinance. Well, instead of capturing $37,000 of equity, right, and doing a $3,500 refinance, they're now jumping back in the market right now, paying more for this house and getting the same rate that somebody that bought back in November, got a huge seller credit, paid for their closing costs, is now getting when they're refinancing, right? So now you're refinancing and that house is worth $37,000 more. So if you're listening to this and go, shoot, I missed my opportunity, honestly, I think we're at another pivotal market moment because of the election, because of the looming Fed rate cut. I think there's still a lot of buyers that are holding out. However, if you're waiting on the Fed rate cut to buy or sell to make a move, you need to read these. Pause this video. I'm not going to read through all of these. They are not directly tied. I'm hearing a lot of that. I'm going to wait for the Fed to cut rates, then I'm going to buy a home. When the Fed cuts the rate, that doesn't mean that mortgage rates are going to just plummet immediately. There's more economic data and news and implications than just the Fed move when talking about mortgage rates. Okay, talking about a lot of people are saying, I'm going to wait for the election to see, we don't have to get political on this, but just to see who's going to be in office. I'm going to wait till after that. You're not alone. There's always a seasonal drop in home sales the month prior to a presidential election. I think a lot of people just want to see the direction of the US economy. But look at this. Home sales went up 9 of the last 11 presidential elections. Existing home prices went up 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. Mortgage rates decreased leading up to 8 of the last 11 presidential elections, which we're seeing right now. So as I state here, so what do these show us? Well, patterns are useful for predicting future markets. So from what I can see here is post-election, we're going to see home prices go up. We're going to see more buyers flooding the market. And I don't think we're going to see this insane amount of inventory given that it's going to be winter. So in the next few months, if you are looking for a home, I say to pounce now. If you're a seller, what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that there's going to be a lot of buyers potentially waiting for that Fed rate cut and waiting for that presidential election. So if you can wait as a seller, I would wait. You always have in real estate this seasonal time. During winter, the houses don't look as good, right? Kids are back in school. I would wait till spring of 2025 if you can to sell. But if you need to sell to buy your next home, then I put you in the buyer category. You need to pounce now. If you're just a first-time home buyer or you're relocating and you need to buy a home, pounce now. Do not wait for rates to continue to drop or post-election. Okay. How we can do this, I'll explain a little bit about our step-up loan, which is what my August highlight is about. The step-up loan is a 4-month balloon. It allows you to leverage equity in your home, your current home, to buy now, and then you have 4 months to sell your current property. Just contact me with more. I've done several videos on this subject before. If you have any questions about that, it's an amazing product. We're probably doing 20 or 30 of them as a company per month right now. So let's dive into, the buy now, sell later. How? That's our step-up loan. There's also a different various ways that we can help you to buy a home. Secure one now, because going back to that, what are home prices going to do post-election? Most likely, they're going to go up. There's going to be more buyers flooding the market, which is going to drive prices up. And once again, there's still a lot of clients sitting on a sub 3% interest rate. I don't think they're going to be just listing their house unless they have to. Death, divorce, relocation for jobs, downsizing, upgrading, right? More kids, less kids, all those things. But there's not going to be this immense amount of supply just hitting the market. Okay. So let's look at this kind of interest rates right now. Let me zoom this in. So they're going down, which is fantastic. So if you look at mortgage rates, the height, like I showed you back here, October 26, 2023, this is Freddie Mac's average 30-year fixed mortgage. This is typically with a point. Right now, we're down to low 6s. Okay, this is substantially better. I mean, and it's spot on with my prediction. 10 months later from when I posted that on my Instagram, rates are in the low 6s. Labor Day weekend, I think I worked probably 4 to 5 hours a day. Just on new applications, which you'll see right here on the next one. New applications is a great just predictor of how much demand there is in the market. I mean, look at in August, 6.9% in the first week, 16.8% in the second week. We had a dip here. Maybe that's kids going back to school, and then increase. So buyers are coming back in the market because of this rate decrease, right? The mortgage rate's falling. However, a lot of them are being very looky-looey, we'll just say. So I think post-election, we're going to see those home prices go up. And if you look back to November of 2023, with the median sales price, you missed out on $37,000 of equity if you did not buy in November. And right now, I've got 4 people currently that are refinancing that bought during that time. And they've captured $37,000 on average of equity, and they're lowering their interest rate about 1.5% for the $3,500, right? So you look at that, once again, it is simple economics. It's supply and demand. When mortgage rates go down, home prices are going to go up. So if you start seeing that trend going down, try to buy that house now. If you have the means to do it, don't wait. Get off my soapbox here. So you can see mortgage rates, 6.375. This will show you the principal and interest here is 39.30. This is for a $700,000 house with 10% down. And that's just your principal and interest. That's not taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, anything like that, and you're paying 0.92% of your loan amount in points to buy it down, that's just like the 30-year fixed average, right? This is typically with a point. That's what people post it at. I also tell people that, if you're looking online at what mortgage rates are doing, typically online posted rates are with a 1-point buy down, which is 1% of your loan amount, or I've even seen as high as a 2 or 2.5 point buy down. I'm seeing a lot of rates online that are 5.75. You can get that for 2.5 points, just like with us. But I'm seeing a lot of advertisements, 5.75, and people are like, wow, the 30-year fixed rate is low sixes. Once again, if you have other dynamics in your loan, there's, I think, 13 variables that set your pricing. Your credit score. Well, let's just go to my website here. This will tell you exactly what the variables are. So if you go to Get Rate, so the property type, depending on if it's a multi-unit, a manufactured home, a condo, that dictates it. The zip code, your income, the property usage, is it a primary, secondary, investment property? What's the purchase price? What's the down payment? What's the loan term desired? Do you want to do a 30-year fix, a 20-year, a 15, a 10, an ARM loan, right? There is so many different variables that sets that pricing. You can't just think, oh, well, the average 30-year fix is low sixes. Why is my rate higher or lower? You may be paying points, or if you're hearing from a colleague, a friend, a family member, there is so many variables that set mortgage interest rate pricing. It's important to know some of those dynamics. But mortgage interest rate trend is down. Mortgage application trend is up. Once again, if you're a buyer, buy now if you have the means to do it. If you're a seller and can hold off, I'd wait till spring. I think you're going to get a higher price point for your property. Turn times are very, very quick right now. We're closing loans in 2 weeks. I actually had one where this client was moving from Mount Vernon to Ellensburg. They did not want to make a contingent sale, so they didn't want to make it contingent on their home selling to buy the next home because it was a competitive offer situation. We got them fully pre-underwritten. They made their offer. They listed their home, and we ran them side by side, knowing that if their home didn't sell, we'd have to go with our step-up bridge loan product. A week and a half before closing, their sale that they were selling, the house they were selling, moving from, fell apart. They would have lost their $10,000 of earnest money because they couldn't qualify for both payments. I was able to flip it to a step-up loan, our bridge loan product, and we closed it in a week and a half. Saved their $10,000 earnest money. They moved into the house. They got another person that's buying their property. We're going to do the permanent financing once that sells. Saved them their 10 grand. Had a great plan B. So once again, get ahead of it. Get into underwriting. If you're a real estate agent watching this, get your clients in. If you are someone that's looking to buy or sell, get your file submitted. Get it in early. Send this video to anyone that you think this would be impactful for. If you have any fence sitters or people that are looking to sell or buy, I'm happy to talk about anyone's scenario. I'm always a resource. Alrighty, we'll catch you on the next month.